Board games. Board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and I'm going to talk about a very hilariously bad scam, but thankfully it's been shut down, and now no one's going to be confused by it. And I'm going to talk about a game sent over by a man, and I will unbox it, and I'll know if it's a hit. And I'm going to talk about Bastion, a convention I'm going to, and I'll talk about 8 things that I'm looking forward to doing. Sorry for the terrible song. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It's 10 a.m. ish UK time, time for Bezzy Beats and Board Game Blether. And today, what am I talking about? I'm talking about 3 things. So this is episode 881. And firstly, a little bit of silly news where there's a group on Board Game Geek called like Worst Kickstarter Ever, something like that. And this is legendary. I have never seen something as bad as this before. And I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to draw attention to it because it was still going on and people were still maybe being scammed, which is really, oh my gosh, sad. But I am going to show you some ridiculous stuff. But first, let's get into the recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. Yesterday was Wednesday. Didn't play any games in real life, but what I did do was play a bunch on Board Game Arena. I managed to win dots and boxes legitimately. I managed to win at least one other game because me and the other person were just clicking around, had a personal appointment, had a nice chat. And the one thing that I feel like was my major achievement was reaching out for help on Facebook, saying, hey, I need some people to look at my to-do lists because I need outside motivation. That's what we've decided that I really need. So if there's a few people who are willing to look at my to-do lists and my to-do list, so I'm going to try and make it a daily routine. And if I've not posted one of these things for a week or so, I hope that people will reach out to me. I'm going to try and make it a daily practice, even if these to-do lists are really small. But it's a way of thinking, if I do this, I'll have something to celebrate. I'll have something to share with others. And I want to be a better person for everyone else. Because the truth is, sometimes, it's a difficult thing to just be a good person for yourself. So sometimes you want to be a good person for the others. But I mean, that was a big thing. Questable. I've been chatting to Kirsten Lunde, and Kirsten did so much playtesting over the weekend with Proto Spiel Online, 3 different groups playing it, all excited by stuff that was lovely to hear about, and hearing some of those stories. I told Kirsten, and we've got ideas. I've made the spreadsheet of levels, so it's a start. Now we're going to think, okay, what can go here? The final thing that I did game related was I found out that even though this is not a guarantee, Last Bug Standing in the Circle of Doom is planned for release at UK Games Expo, so fingers crossed. I mean, it was always, the obligation was on Surprise Terror Games to publish it by Spiel, technically by the end of the year, but it was always going to be done by Spiel. But now Alan said, you know what? I'm not going to do crowdfunding. I'm just going to print this thing and get it out there, and we will do some reviews and we'll get it. So I'm really excited by this. And so, yes, Last Bug Standing in the Circle of Doom should be ready for UK Games Expo. Fingers crossed. Hello, Sate. It is lovely to see you. And I hope that you're generally well on this beautiful 19th of January. Is it a beautiful 19th of January? Here it is kind of overcast. How is it where you are? I hope that you're generally well. Okay, so brilliant thing. It's a little thing which is brilliant. I'm going to say bubble wrap. I mean, sure, it can be kind of fun to pop, but more importantly, I just think it's such a, yeah, something to soften the blow. Like bubble wrap envelopes, easy to put your game inside, flip it over, and send it off to someone. I think that bubble wrap envelopes are a really brilliant thing. Keep your game safe in the mail. We'll talk about that later. So yeah. And Xate says, it's snowy here and I need to bike to the dentist. Oh my gosh, that sounds really hard. Yeah, I wish you luck. I don't know if I would be able to trudge. It sounds like, I mean, are you able, I'm assuming that you're not going to be able to walk today. That sounds really hard. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, yeah, it sounds like the appointments might have to be postponed if it's that bad and you're not able to walk through, because I can't imagine cycling through actual snow. That would be, yeah. A 20-minute bike ride. Oh man, yeah, that's not good. And like public transport, I'm so sorry, lots of love. Like, I hope that you manage to find a solution, whether that's public transport or yeah, I can't yeah, I don't know, are you able to cycle through the snow? Are you able to reschedule the appointment? But yeah, I'm so sorry. As always, I appreciate you commenting. Thanks for being here, Xate, and anyone else who's watching, whether live or after the fact. Anything that, please do share. I promise I care, and I do these because I want to hear from you. So let's talk a bit about the first topic, which is Dungeon Delve. So Dungeon Delve is, oh my gosh, this is, and Xate says, I think I will make it, I'll just be cold. Good on you. And I hope that you stay okay, lots of love. So yes, Dungeon Delve, finally suspended. So let's have a look at this. So this is supposedly a shot of a miniature. And I can get to, like, if you looked at this, you'd be thinking, wow, that looks like a really good miniature. But then you scroll down and you think, okay, so why aren't you showing us the full miniatures? Okay, this looks interesting, okay. Now, at some point, you might be thinking, wait a minute, it's a bit weird that they chose to have this skeleton with so many fingers, isn't it? And it's a bit weird how, like, all these things are, sure, they're beautiful, but they're not really practical. They don't look like they could be really part of reality. And it's a bit weird how I mean, it's almost like these pictures were generated by, it was almost as if these pictures were generated by AI, by like someone who spent lots of time putting art into AI and then slapping some terrible text on it. And the most ridiculous thing here, and I'm actually just going to share this so you can all go and laugh or whatever. But be warned, there is some really hateful comments, but the main page is just ridiculous. So here, it's been written by DALL-E. Literally, if you ask, I mean, ChatGPT, whatever it's called, someone checks a thing saying, hey, please create me the rules to a game about a dungeon being in a dungeon, and then it said, here are the rules to Dungeon Delve. Like, Dungeon Delve was and all of these rules, we think, was actually written by an AI. So the rules amount to going round, there's someone who just rolls a d6, but they have no other purpose. Like, there's a GM for some reason, and the GM is just there to roll the monster's attack. Like, it bewilders me. And the most ridiculous thing, like, here they're trying to get rid of text, and like, again, you can see it looks like Midjourney, right? So you can tell that, hopefully, like, with the lighting, with the way that it's clearly not a box or anything that anyone would really construct, why would, yeah, I mean, like, again, if those were miniatures, it would be ridiculously brilliant. But then the comments, I'm not going to go through it, but I'll just say it's a dumpster fire of a comments thread. It started off with the person saying, "Here's a picture of our office." Yeah, right. Okay, that's absolutely your office. Great work with your giant minotaur in front of a suspiciously computer generated looking void with extra fingers and toes. And then, yeah, and here, this is again ridiculous. So one of the backers, knowing that this is a scam, said, "Here's a card, and the original image is here." So, like, they made a card showing that when played, points out that this card is more real than anything in the Dungeon Delve campaign, which is a hilariously bad scam. And that was what it originally was like, until they said, well, we're going to replace it with this text that we've probably, and they're putting on this front. It's ridiculous. And the worst thing of all, well, and again, a stock photo of apparently their customer support. I'm not sure what they're pretending to be doing. Are they genuinely thinking that people will be fooled by this? But then the worst thing of all is that it seemed like there were 4 people at the top backer level and 1 person at the second one. Were these alternate accounts? Was this trying to make the campaign look successful? Or was it a case that people had actually come in here, look, wow, that looks cool. Okay, this person certainly can make some miniatures. They aren't aware of AI. And this is, yeah. All I'm going to say is I'm glad it was eventually pulled. And yeah, this, yeah, it's a new way of scamming, I guess. Yeah, that's not great. But yeah, so hooray, they were pulled. Talking about something that's a lot lighter, let's talk about Bastion. Bastion. There we go. Bastion 2023. And so Bastion is a lovely convention. Bastion, a bunch of people find a place in Wales, in Conway, in the northern tip. It's a bit out of the way. I mean, to get there from London, I need to take one train, then a connection, and then another connection on like this teeny tiny train into Conway. And even from there, I need to like walk like quite a bit up like this steep hill through these archways. And then I'm going to get there. It's going to be dark, like it starts at 6 p.m. tonight. But I'm going to sleep there tonight, is fingers crossed, that's the goal. And it's lovely because you get like maybe 100, maybe less maybe fewer people, and everyone is there for the same purpose, playing games. There's no exhibitors. Sure, there's some people who've been playing games for longer. Sure, there's going to be some people who've brought more of their collection to get played. I myself, I'm going to take some of my self-published things and probably 3 other things. So what am I looking forward to at Bastion? I've written a bit of a list. And so, firstly, walking on the castle wall. If you go to Bastion, there's actually a castle wall around Conway, and it's free access. You can just go up. I mean, if it's icy or snowy, I'm not sure I would want to go up there because it's not super safe at the top of the wall. But you know, you can walk along and be like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is me walking on an actual castle wall. Yeah, seeing friends, seeing people that I know, seeing Yvonne, like the person who invited me first time I went, seeing like Sarah and like everyone else, and like just people I've gotten to know them, and like Basha, and yeah, it's Philip. Yeah, it's people that I've shared games with, that have played with for hours, people that I've just said hello to at breakfast. And because we all go into these dormitories and then we sleep and then we get up and there's a communal kitchen, we all cook for ourselves. We can we can do whatever we want, as long as we keep it clean, obviously, and wash up after ourselves. But you could get something in, you could go out as groups, and there's something lovely about saying, yeah, let's eat together, let's okay, it's breakfast time, I'm going to have some breakfast together, let's do this other thing together. And at night, when it's say 12 o'clock, midnight, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm a bit tired, I don't have to think, well, I would have to go half an hour to get back home and then get myself into bed. I'm just thinking, well, I literally just have to go upstairs. I could be in bed within, well, if I'm tiptoeing around and walking really quietly, maybe like 3 minutes. And that's brilliant. That means that if I've got the tiniest bit of energy, I can just play games until late and then wake up and play games, and it's going to be a fantastic time. So yes, I want to teach a game. I want to have a game that I've taught, and I want to be taught a game. I want to learn new games. I want to try out one of my things, maybe heartstrings. I want to discuss games. I want to play a game and then have a chat about it and see what we thought and chat to someone. Yeah, I want to share food, maybe take a bottle of mead and share that. I want to play a big group game with 10 of us, and of course 2 rooms and a boom is great fun. Or if the wool goes well, then maybe with that. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. So last thing I'm going to do now is to remove that and do unboxing. Unboxing, unboxing, unboxing is the next thing. Unboxing. I've taken my address off it. So it's... Ooh. There's bits of string there. This is sent from the USA. It's ooh. Okay. Okay, so this is Zaberias, and it asks me to give, the first thing I'm noticing straight away is this, please give us a 10-star review at Board Game Geek. And I'm thinking, no, I don't give 10-star reviews to things, especially not just because people have asked me to. No. And that makes me wonder if that's why they've got, honestly, I'm not okay with that. So this is a prototype edition. Obviously, this will all be changed compared to what the final game will look like. And yeah, I don't know. Are they going to ask all their consumers to be giving them ratings? Because I think that's actually against the terms and conditions of Board Game Geek. I'm going to get my scissors. Stab. There. Take this off. Okay. So we've got 4 factions. This is a game for 2 to 4 players. There are no rules included. I was expecting to get a physical printing of the rules, but I guess, yeah, to do that myself, I'm slightly surprised. So we've got the undead, we've got the guardians, and it looks like they've got some main bits and then some dice, and the orcs and the humans. Okay, so these are all quite pretty. Let's start with the red one. So the undead. So it looks like is that a triple layer board? I was going to say a double layer board, but I think there might be something even more interesting going on here. So let's see. There's these dice. Ah, the dice go all the way through. Oh wow. It is actually triple layer. So you've got this bit, which is your map, which is what you're going to tile together, presumably. And then you've got, oh, that's tricky to get out. Giant crow passes over water and units. Okay, so all of these units. So acid spitter doesn't. So it's got the names of them and just a little bit of reminder. This is just a skeleton. And this doesn't have a. I guess that's your temple or something. Dark Angel. A Cupid arrow makes a unit in its range fall in love with the undead and cannot attack them for one turn. That's weird flavor. But so I had the way that I got this is I was sent an email, clearly sent to a lot of people, and they said, hey, would you like to get a review copy of it? This is the Soul Collector. And, we've got our wee stats over there in the corners, but the back doesn't have any more information except for just the name, except in the one example that I showed you. Here we go. Necromancer resurrects a fallen unit from the previous round in its range instead of attacking. Okay, so we've got special, and I guess that's, I was going to say, I guess that's what that little icon is, but no, that's clearly projectile units. So yeah, there's no icon to remind you of that special ability, which seems like a wee bit of an issue. Vampire keeps the units he defeats underneath him and gets their base strength. Small typo, by the way, you might want to fix that. That's an RE instead of an IR at the end. I do really like this storage system, although I'm already finding that to pull them out, I'm needing to get my nails in there, and the top of the thing is kind of coming off. It could be a little bit looser, but it's a really nice idea with this. Okay, this is where the cardboard units go, and then you put the other thing on top. It's really nice for sending it out, but Mutant Corpse casts a plague on the boards he is on. The enemies, yeah, again, instead of YS, that should be IS. The enemies, that should just be the enemy rolls a dice for each unit. The unit that gets a blank dice, okay. So yeah, a small typo on that one. That's not, again, this is a prototype. It will be tweaked, I'm sure, and Skull Dragon gives +1 basic strength to all his units and himself. All his units, that feels a bit weird. Does that mean all friendly units? I'm assuming that's what it means. So, yeah, that's your stuff there, and guess that's meant to sit there, and your dice, which come out. Oh, that's nice. So are all of these dice the same? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So 2 1s, 2 2s, a 3 and a 0. Slightly weighted dice, and with custom bits. So with little skulls instead of pips. Cool. So that is what's going on there. And the skulls do feel very thematic for the necromancers, for the undead people. And oh my gosh, this does... If you've watched the show before, you'll know that I'm a lot more about the mechanics. So I'm going to take this away and see what it's all about. I'll probably print the rules myself. And again, we've got a board for the humans. If you're playing with the humans, then you add this board. So with 2 players, you're adding 2 of their boards. With 3 players, 3 of their boards. With 4 players, all 4 of their boards. And it looks like the human dice are exactly the same. Presumably a 3, 2 2s, 2 ones. Sorry, there we go. A 1 and another 1 and 1 blank. So it's a weighted sort of D4 with more bits in the center. And again, we've got all these individual coins, which I assume is your currency, your double-sided towers, your weak units. Oh, this costs, I guess, 2 coins, so on the back. That's presumably the resources you've got to spend. The Magic Dazzle disables a unit's ability for 1 turn within its range. Okay, that feels slightly awkward. Mermaid passes over water and units. Cool. I like that. Archer. And again, with these, you've got 3 stats. I assume that's movement and range and broad strength. It is meant to be a game for a very simple game. It's aimed at stealth teaching maths to kids, and it's described as being something that's also fun for adults. So I will be able to tell you how I feel about it. It's not too big. I'll take it to Bastion. I'll get it played at least once, and yeah, I'll give you my first impressions very soon. Teleporter. This costs 3 coins by the looks of it. Moves a friendly unit to any location within its range instead of attacking. Cool. And I do like the art. I mean, it is quite cute and fun. It's got that. It's not like a strong voice. It's not super stylized, but it's pleasant. It's here to say, hey, it's welcoming. Yeah, I think it reminds me of Ninja Go and other kids' shows. Ninja keeps the units he defeats underneath him and rolls for each unit 1 extra dice. And then we've got the 2 big units besides. Maybe these are what gives you resources. Dragon. 1, 2. Is that costing you 5? I think that is costing you 5. Oh my gosh. Yeah, more typos. Typo count 3. Can carry a wood unit and fights as 1. Again, awkward count 2. The unit can get on and off at will. Flies over water and units. I mean, typos do come in. Again, this is a pre-production copy. Giant armor gives 1 extra dice to all his units and himself. Okay, so I guess these are meant to be your leaders. These are like your second in charge, and these are your less importance units, something like that. Let me actually. So potentially, if you were playing with these 2, I guess it would go like that. Yeah, so you're kind of connecting the paths, I guess. Boom. There you go, and then you're attacking each other. You've got these guardians. And what does it say? Build cities and train mighty heroes to conquer enemy regions. Outwit your friends and family with sneaky tactics and become the ruler of Zaberias. Yeah, so Zaberias, it's, I guess, their faction, and the whole thing just seems really weird to me. So, like, when they reached out, I was thinking, yeah, you've not checked out my channel. And then the person said, yeah, you're right. We didn't check out your channel. But now I had a quick look, and I can say that and then they mentioned, like, but so I was like, yeah, sure. Okay, let's see what all this is about. Okay, I like purple. I like purple foliage. I'm a big fan of that. That's like, this is a nice color scheme. Again, you've got all the resources are subtly different. I do like these coins with the many-eyed beings. They kind of remind me of angels with all their eyes. You've got Turtle Goo, glues the enemy unit in its place for 1 turn. This feels slightly awkward, that wording. Fairy, flies over water and units. This is kind of like Squirtle with... Apparently this is a baby dragon. It doesn't look like a dragon to me, but okay. I mean, I've never seen a dragon, so fair enough. Wasn't fought, they walked on their hind legs. This is a protector. No special abilities. Then you've got Tiger Rider, no special abilities, but that looks cool. I mean, I like how each faction, so I'm actually looking back, the first one, no, all of their skin is kind of, the first one, all of them are dark skins. This one, all of them are blue skins. The humans are sorts of white and black. And actually, when I'm looking at the diversity, like there's, yeah, I mean, it's a lot better than most. So that's Tiger Rider. Spider Witch transfers her own speed and strength to friendly units within her range instead of attacking. Phantom keeps the units he defeated underneath him and absorbs their steps. So, wow, so Phantom can start moving faster and faster, I guess. That's a very nice ability. Two-headed dragon. Her 2 heads allow her to attack twice on her turn, and she flies over water and units. So there you go. I mean, there we go. So that's Lady Dragon. You've got this tree. The Earth Mover can spin the board he stands on in any way he wants. Wow. That seems really powerful and also slightly chaotic. And finally, we've got the orcs. The build cities and train mighty heroes to conquer enemy kingdoms. Outwit your friends and family with sneaky tactics and become the ruler of Zaberias. Wait, is that what it said on the other ones? Yeah. It's always this. Yeah, I'm slightly disappointed. It's always the same text on the front. That could have been like a nice, hey, this is what this thing is about. This game, this faction, like if the factions are meant to be different. So, yeah, at least, yeah, it just seems like a missed opportunity. And now that I'm picking up on stuff like the number one best educational game for kids, 6+ to improve counting and reading skills. I mean, is it? Look, if you just told me, great for letting kids learn to read and count, then I would have been saying, yeah, fine, I'm sure that it could be great. But number one, really? I mean, yeah, just kind of, especially not with the, well, it feels just really premature to be saying that, and it feels kind of a bit, if I'm being honest, it turns me off a little bit, that kind of random claim mixed with the vote 10 for us on Board Game Geek. Wait, is this missing? The orcs are missing a counter. That's sad. I don't know how that happened. I definitely didn't drop it. Nope, definitely didn't drop it. Yeah, somehow in manufacturing there was a counter missed, so I'll use a coin or something. It'll be fine. So there's more money for the orcs. And Cyclops shocks the enemy units from attacking for 1 turn. Yeah, again, so you've just got the basic stats on the front, and assuming that you're meant to be moving them around, it feels like the things with special things should have like an icon there. Copter flies over watch round units. Okay, is that meant to be flying? Flamethrower, so it's got a range of 2, I guess. Hunter doesn't do anything special. Beastmaster doesn't do anything special, just says Beastmaster on the back. And Energon gives a friendly unit in his range the ability to move and attack again. So someone else can do their thing. And again, like, I just feel like it wants some little, even like a little exclamation mark to say this has a special ability and this other thing doesn't have a special ability. It's not great on ramping. Headhunter gets 2 coins for every unit he defeats. Balloon Dragon gets to roll an extra die for each time he rolls a 1. Okay, a couple of typos there. You want to swap the E's for an L. So yeah, again, I'm going to forgive them and hopefully this is useful to them. And Rhino Rider tramples over wood and metal units, killing them instantly. Okay, so that's what I've got, and if you put these together, you can see that they fit together with like I actually think that's very slick. That's one thing I'm going to say. I like that each unit comes in its own packing thing. I just think that if this were a game that I'd paid for, I would be annoyed that I'm kind of ruining this each time I push it in and then take it out, because I've got to, I'm actually noticing that there's little dings on the cardboard. I mean, it's very clever, and if you don't mind, if you're not super protective of your stuff, then it's not an issue. Now, this is a really weird thing on the back of what I'm going to call the player packs. So it's got the name Zaberias, and is this how they're planning on selling it, or is this going to be in the box? I assume that this would be inside the box, in which case, why are they giving you all this information again? And like, as a reviewer, I would have expected like a little message saying, hey, here's some context for our thing. I'm assuming that this all comes in a box in the end. But instead, it's as if they plan to sell these individually. And like, it's got the little barcode and presumably, I mean, I think they are actually going to sell these individually, and I think that's their plan, so that it comes, And then I guess 15 years in the making, guaranteed fun. I mean, okay, if it's 15 years in the making, I can see why you're spending money to send it to me, who you basically don't know very well. But okay, so clearly this is basically the pack for 1 player, and you've got to buy 2 different ones for 2 players. And so I think the idea is that you'd go into a shop and then you'd buy any 2 you want for 2 players, 3 for 3 players, or all 4 of them for 4 players. But isn't that going to lead to confusion? What happens if someone picks it up and says, oh, that's cool. Like, if I saw this, I would assume that I could play it 2 to 4 players based on 1 pack. I wouldn't think, oh, it's 1 pack is 1 player. That's confusing. Teaches counting, sure. Enhances reading, fine. Strategic thinking, sure. Builds social skills, like those are applicable to basically all board games, and these are applicable to the vast majority. Copyright 2014. So I guess they did a limited print run, but then it's going to be changed. Again, I've got no context for this. And printed by Hero Time, our friends who do environmentally good stuff, have been on. And this is the interesting bit. At the end, it says 6 to death. That's how long you need to play it. Now, that's how old you need to be to play it. But how long did you need? You need infinite time. This game will last the rest of your life. Yeah, I have no idea what that infinite time means. Why would you say your game takes infinite time? That's like the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. I'm just putting these things back. And I'm also trying to, like, yeah. Okay, so these little pop-ups are for your thing, okay. And yeah, again, all the backs say infinite time. So I hope you have a lot of time if you want to play this. And the humans, which again take all the time of eternity. And finally, the undead. And I guess from what I understand, if they're meant to be sold as individual packs, could you play like 2 undead armies against each other? Is there a reason why it doesn't go for, like, the whole thing seems weird to me, especially the infinite time. But yeah, that's my unboxing, and I'm genuinely very bothered by that. Yeah, and yeah, it's just, I mean, if it said, please give us a rating at Board Game Geek, sure, like, absolutely, okay, I will rate you what I feel it's worth. But if you say, please give us a 10-star rating, I'm not one of these people who's then going to give you like a 0 out of spite or something like that. But it really rubs me the wrong way, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, it looks cool. I'm going to print out the rules. I'm actually quite excited. It seems like a straightforward game that I've never played before, and I could learn on the train to play at Bastion, the convention that I'll be going to. So at this point, I'm going to ask you the question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Question of the day. My question of the day is, do you like a particular percentage of cocoa in your chocolate? I mean, I do like the highest percentages. I can enjoy 100%, but if I'm being honest, my favorites are probably a little bit below 90. Like, I would say 85, 80, 75, maybe 75 to 90 is my, okay, it's got a bit of other stuff in there. It feels a little bit more of an indulgence. And let's not fool ourselves into thinking that 100% cocoa is chocolate. It's still incredibly calorific. And so, yeah, if you have like a bar every day, it's like a bit much. But yeah, that's my favorite percentage cocoa. What's your favorite percentage cocoa in chocolate? I'm curious to know. Let me know. So, as always, over to you. What are you up to? You can share button if you want to. I am today. I've even got a list. Let me actually check my list because I've completely forgotten. This is a good reason for writing a list. Okay, on my list, the number one thing that I want to do is get packed and get out to Bastion. Main profile. Take out the bins. Oh yes, I can definitely do that. Get to Conway, and I want to send the addresses to Vagard. That's a big thing. That's something that I've not done for a while, and I want to tell Vagard to please, send a free copy of the L deck as an apology to everyone. Ideally, I'd like to book a flight back there and email some purchasers and Tanya and say, hey, and also to Hitel. I want to, ideally print some drawn together prototypes before I go to Bastion. And I'd like to make my Dungeon Combat prototype pieces, not necessarily drawn them, but just make the pieces so that I can go to Bastion and draw them there. So that is what I'm up to. What are you up to? Let me know. And as always, first I will, recap and wrap up before we finish up. So to recap and wrap up, I've been Bez. This has been Dungeon Delve, a ridiculously bad, hilarious, a ridiculous scam where the person made a lot of AI art and then spent a lot of time in the comments being hateful, accusing other people of being racist when the other people weren't, because the other people were saying, hey, this is a scam. And then the person never said, no, this isn't a scam. They just said, hey, you're being racist. It wasn't they were saying, hey, you used the word with the N word with a hard R. And the most ridiculous thing is that at the end, in their latest comment, they've sent an invite to their Discord channel, which again is made up of racist, which the name has a racist slur. And please, it's just a dumpster fire, and I'm glad that it's finally been banned, because not some of this money might have been theirs, but I don't think it was all. And the fact that some people were just coming on to comment, hey, this is a scam, please don't back it. But then other people, I think, saw it and thought, oh, this seems legitimate. Oh, this is really pretty. Oh, you know what? I should give this person my money. And ended up paying $240, for 5 people. Again, were they part of the scam or were they victims? I don't know. I'll probably never know. But that's the most ridiculous, weird thing. Anyway, the other thing that I talked about was Bastion, which I absolutely adore. And I'm looking, there's no single game, there's nothing being released, but I'm just looking forward to being there, being with the other people, playing some games, teaching some games, maybe showing some games that I made, testing some games of mine, but primarily just having a good time and trying to de-stress and relax for a long weekend. And I'll be back on Sunday night, but I will be giving you regular updates at 10 a.m. Finally, I showed off Zaberias, which has interesting player packs with the front making up the board. And honestly, in terms of product design, this is fairly clever. I will give them that. But no instructions, no paper instructions. Is that really their plan? As a reviewer, I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm printing it out. I'm not happy about it, but I'll do it. But then as a customer, I'd be like, what the heck? You can't just be making a game and then not giving people the instructions. But I will send this off and see what they say in response. So as always, if you want to check me out, I'm Stuff by Bears in all of the places, and stuffbybears.com/streams will tell you what I'm up to. I'm basically up to Bastion at the moment until Sunday. And Monday I'll be doing a bit of a recap. I'll try and take a photo of all the things that I played. Thank you very much, everyone. And please do share, spread the word. And for now, there's basically only one thing left for me to say, which is, of course, lots of love and bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.